Now, from your experience, and I think you've had a few of those sessions with many leaders. What are they struggling with the most right now? In your opinion, what are they struggling with the most? What is the problem now that we're trying to solve?
I think that well, one, the what it seemed like this whole generational divide where like, oh, people just don't do, kind of like they don't build the things that how they used to build. People just don't work this way that it work. There's not the loyalty, there's not the faithfulness, there's not all this stuff. So, and but blaming it more on the generational aspect, which in a sense feels like it's out of my control. It's just like this whole generation thing, that I feel a lot of leaders are like, well, I can't parent them, and I that's where I'm hearing. But in reality, what I'm seeing is these all of these tools, right? And wanting the tools to take care of all these human needs instead of really looking at the human aspect. For example, looking at the tool to keep somebody, in a sense, accountable, to make sure that they're doing the good work, or being the tool be the one that provides the training necessary to provide the right customer experience, because we fed all this information in. In essence, what they're doing is they're also burning out the people, because they're having to manage so many other things outside of their not only the skill level, but also what are you really trying to do. For example, a salesperson who is needing to connect with the other one on the side, yet is getting, there's transcripts, is getting like, the how the other person is reacting or not, then having to know which one would be the right solution. All of these things, they may have so many programs open, and then after that we're going to review them all. Great. But what are you reviewing them for? So I think people are looking at solving this divides, and for example, even generational divide, with simply with just technology tools, instead of looking at, hey, there's this human aspect that needs to happen as well. Like growing in emotional intelligence, like understanding if somebody's getting to that burnout, is understanding if somebody's really in that fear, understanding if they're in that disconnect, that we still need to develop in, to be able to serve our people well, and so that they know how to serve others well. The disconnect aspect, this, but thinking that the disconnect is out of their control,
Yeah,
when in reality, it is in their control.
this is in their control. Yeah,
It is. It's just about being human.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Now, who is your customer? Do you deal like with HR, or is it you go directly to the CEO or procurement? Who do you talk to?
I talk to usually the CEO, the executive director, the board of directors, either somebody that's a member in the board of directors, somebody that's the chair of the board of directors. HR is probably the place where we go to start looking at what has been done already. So the HR communication, because it's like, oh yeah, I had that conversation with somebody. Usually will lead me to the director, but a lot of times team leads. The ones that really, where I've been able to come in and help, is because that next line, basically, I think about it like your bench in a baseball team, right? You have your bench of pitchers already warming up. Well, that bench is not existent in many companies, where they
Yep.
may have the subject
Well, I
matter
don't think there's a
expert.
bench anymore.
Right. So, but there may be subject matter experts that suddenly like, hey, here's the leadership position, but now the subject matter expert has to talk to all those different departments, and all the time they've been in a siloed,
Yep.
knowing one thing, so not knowing how to talk. So usually the pain is felt by the CEO.
Hmm.
Usually the pain is felt by the operational senior leaders, too. And those are the conversations that I have in, and then being able to work, both on the strategy, the communication aspect, and then look at how we really look at the culture, rebuilding the culture.
What does an engagement look like with you and your company, Hannah?
So it looks like with different with starting with assessments. So we can do that with the executive coach. The executive. We do executive coaching, both with him or her and their immediate line. So if they have either, if it's a board of directors, if it's the 4 or 5 key a key personnel that they work with. Usually that's what we do. The initial core team from that is then defining, well, is it a skill thing where there may be a skill gap, so we will do some analysis with the skill gaps, or is it more of, again, the emotional intelligence, and some of the, what people would call soft skills. For me, they're essential skills, like talking to each other.
I hate it when they
Or
call it soft skill. It's so essential. It can't give without it. but
I
they call it
it
soft skill.
I know it's soft skill. I use core. So when I'm working with a company, the first thing is core, which is again cultivate, optimize, reach, and elevate. So is this a cultivate problem? Is this a mission,
Hmm.
vision, values, or is it an optimize? So we need to look at your processes and systems because it may be like you can talk well, but you don't have your systems, your processes are not in place to where you can follow them. Or is it a reach problem? Basically, is your internal communication, external communication, what's going on? Or is it an elevate problem where we need to innovate right now because we're being disrupted. We need to redefine what it is that we want to do, our market positioning, and then look at strategy. So I use core for organizations on how we can work best together.
Absolutely.